This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from the new media production studio. The lead stories are Voyager 1 has a data mystery. It might be lost. Not lost, but lost. Google is going to pay $118 million over a salary lawsuit. Amazon has had issues today. And the FAA's environmental assessment for SpaceX, their Boca Chica launch complex, is complete. I want to welcome you to the episode 1605 of the Geek News Central podcast for Monday, June 13th. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider by becoming a podcast insider. Hey, I want to give a warm welcome to all the new listeners of the show. Make sure you get over to geeknewscentral.com. Check out all the great content. Of course, we got some key articles up there today. Of course, you get subscribed or followed to the podcast right from the website as well. And of course, you can sign up for the newsletter. Newsletter contains everything I talk about during the show by providing you the exact show notes. And, of course, you can come back to the website and read it there. You can join our chat room at geeknews.chat or our Discord channel as well. That's available via the show notes at geeknewscentral.com. You can contact me always on email, geeknews@gmail.com. Just address it to the show. Put the episode number, if you can, in the subject line. That makes it easier for me to find it. Of course, if you want to follow me on Twitter, do so at Geek News. You can follow me on Facebook as well, just by searching for my name. All the partner shows are linked to geeknewscentral.com. That includes the new media show, the ProGear.guru site. It's not a podcast, but it is a website. We've got the GNC Week in Review, done by the executive producer of this show, Kurt Corliss, and, of course, Scott. So definitely check that shows out, along with the Gadget Fester with Mr. Don Bain. How's everybody doing? Great to be here. Got lots to talk about today, and, of course, the most important thing is we thank you for your ongoing support of GoDaddy, a place where you can save lots of money using my promo codes. GoDaddy promo codes for the month of June. They do include some deals, 30% off a new product purchase by using my promo code, or a $4.99.com for new or transfer domains for new customers only. You get to use it once. It's a one-time use promo code, or use this as many times as you want. $1.99 a month economy hosting for the first year includes a free domain. So they get you going for $24 a year for the first year, $24 for the first year, includes that free domain. So with an $8.49 value for most .coms, that gives you an idea what you're getting there. Or $2.99 a month to manage WordPress hosting for the first year with a free domain. You also get a free trial of GoDaddy Website Builder, your choice of personal, business, or business plus plans. That's a 1-month free trial. Geek News Central listeners are saving an average of 94% on purchase of GoDaddy hosting and an average of $3.50 on GoDaddy domain names. Your support, yes, your support keeps this podcast online and the independent writing team employed. You're supporting a small team of independent content creators by using one of these promo codes, and your support will help us in those efforts. We thank all of you that pick up a product from GoDaddy or talk about this service to a friend, family member. Share those codes. Share that webpage, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Again, every time you do that, every time a friend, family member, someone you know has used one of my codes, it's just like writing a check to the show. Simple. You do that once a month. Recommend someone over here in a conversation about someone getting ready to do an online website. Say, hey, I know this dude does a tech show. And it's real easy to remember. I've told you guys 1,000 times, geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. We also want to thank GoDaddy for 16 years of continuous sponsorship of this show. Did I get the number right? 2005. Yep, I think I got it right. 16. Yep, around 16 because we're at 17 for the podcast. Yep. So I think we're close. But anyway, thanks for GoDaddy for being here all this time since June of 2005. So I hope you're all doing well. I got a lot to share with you tonight. Back in the saddle. Back in the saddle here. Going to be on regular, ongoing, twice a week shows. Not expecting to do any travel anytime soon. Hey, Toby, how you doing? If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter, make sure you say hello. But back in the saddle here. No travel for at least 6 weeks, I think, or 7. But the summer is here. They had a heat warning for tomorrow. And but anyway, it was a good weekend. I flew out to Trenton on Friday. Actually went out Friday versus Saturday. They had me change that and got in. And I'll be honest with you, New Jersey gets a pretty bad rap. Now I know when you're around Newark, if you're flying to Newark and going to Manhattan or whatever, that's that's kind of a little different. But Trenton was beautiful. I was staying out in US 1. They had me in a DoubleTree out there. And then we went downtown Trenton for the Podstock conference. I can't complain. It was lovely. The area was lovely. Now I know some people say Trenton in the evening can be a little thing, but every city's a little weird in the evening. But great conference, great amount of attendees. Had a good presentation. They were fantastic. Matter of fact, they gave me something. And for those of you watching, if you've been following my Facebook page, you've seen it. But they did a caricature, I guess that's what you call it, of me and all the other keynote speakers. So this is fantastic. And it made me skinny again, but I think did a pretty good job nailing, got the beard in there, everything. So I'm pretty pleased with with what they did. The Frank Sasso, who is organizer, one of 3 of the team members, is a animator, and he's the one that created that. So I'm going to have some of those. He's going to send me the digital art, so I actually have the digital copy of that. But he nice enough to send me home with a framed one. It was beautiful. So yeah, cool gift. I think that's one of the coolest gifts I've gotten in a while. I got a couple of pictures behind me. You guys can't see, fans of the show and so forth. The Sam's back there, a picture we took years ago. But had a great time, even though I was only in Trenton for about 40 hours, maybe 36 hours, something like that. But when I went to Philly on Sunday morning to fly back to Detroit, it was pouring. And we boarded the airplane when it was pouring. I mean, and it was one of those small commuter jets, so you had to get out. And we got snug in, got left. I was flying American Airlines. They got us pushed back from the gate. And as we went to taxi out, there's like 25 airplanes. So we sat in the queue for an hour and 30 minutes. We were number 2 to take off. And the pilot came over the loudspeaker and said, "Folks, we need more gas." And all the way back to the gate we went. They fueled us up, and we sat back in the line again for about another hour. So I was like 2.5 hours, 2 hours, 45 minutes late getting into Detroit, but at least I wasn't connecting. And but it made for kind of a long day because it started. I had the first flight out in the morning. People got screwed. They were waiting in Detroit and everything else. But so that's the weekend. Back in the saddle here. Slammed today. Tomorrow's going to be no better. And plus, I did 2 interviews today. I had 2 podcast interviews. So both of them were pretty long as well. So normally 20, 30 minutes. One was 45 and one was a little over 30 minutes. So I've been doing a lot of interviews with business shows, podcasting shows, branding shows, really trying to kind of get the word out of some of the stuff that we've done at Blueberry and some of our updates to our platform. And so far, so good on that. So we continue to spread the word on the good things we're doing at the company. If you're thinking about doing a podcast, I got something for you. A free trial. Start for free. 30 days. Get her done. And if you're going to do a tech show, well, you can be part of our partner network here. Let me know. Okay, Voyager 1. The Voyager 1 mission launched in 1977 with a design lifetime of 5 years. Now, nearly 45 years later, in a series of planetary flybys, the spacecraft is now 14.5 billion miles from Earth, exploring interstellar space. The spacecraft has made an amazing number of discoveries, but also suffered a number of issues over the years. The latest of these is a junk telemetry data being sent back to Earth. We have a problem with Voyager 1 spacecraft. Thomas Zurbuchen, NASA's Associate Administrator for the Science Mission Directorate, said in a meeting at the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering and Medicine Space Studies Board on Thursday, where he offered more details. He says, while the spacecraft is operating well, messages from Voyager's attitude, articulation, and control system, which keeps the spacecraft and its antenna in the proper orientation, are not reflecting what's actually happening on board. He says basically, it's lost. Doesn't quite know where it's at. He says getting to the bottom of this confusion is no easy matter, however, due to the vast distance, meaning long delays in the time it takes to communicate with Voyager 1, almost making the spacecraft a victim of its longevity. Imagine you have a conversation with somebody in which you can only say a word every day, and you only hear back every other day. That's the kind of discussion that we have. They're confident the Voyager team will solve the mystery, but noted that the spacecraft cannot continue forever. And in addition to the current communication issue, Voyager 1 is also running at a much colder temperature than it was designed to because of the decay of the spacecraft's nuclear power source. He said, I'm not telling you that it's the end. He emphasized knowing the team behind the mission has addressed many glitches over Voyager's long. He says, make no mistake. There were issues even since I'm at NASA that really were concerned about Voyager. The team has solved it, he said. But also, if one day it's no longer solved, it's an immediate success and we should take out the champagne. So this is from space.com. So it's in interstellar space. It's lost. It's still pointing back at home. But is there something more? Did some aliens come by and pick it up and move it around, or what has happened? Did it run into the digital screen wall, or what's happened with Voyager? But even with the speed of light, you think about that. It takes a day, 24 hours to get the signal out, and I think if I remember my speed of light, it's 1.67 million miles per second. Is that, someone have to back me up on that? Something like that. But being that it's so far out at 14.5 billion, it still takes a little while to rack up that distance, even at the speed of light. It's amazing if you think about it. So we'll keep an eye on what's going on with Voyager. Google's going to pay $118 million after being accused of underpaying 15,500 women. The lead plaintiffs to get at least $50,000 each after alleging pay gap for similar work. So this class action lawsuit alleges the company underpaid female employees. Agreement will release Google from claims that it paid women in covered positions less than it paid men for substantially more for similar work. Google assigned women to lower levels than it assigned men, and Google failed to pay all wages due to employees upon their separation of employment. So this covers 15,500 women that worked at Google since 2013. The four named plaintiffs will get separate payouts. $75,000 for the lead plaintiff and $50,000 each for the other three. And then the rest will get the net settlement after attorney fees, $86 million left. So net settlement for fun will have about $86 million after attorney's fees. So they got paid $30 million for that, and providing average of $5,500 for each class member. So apparently, Google paid women on average approximately $16,794 less per year. So that's a far cry. $5,500 versus $16,700 per year. So, very interesting move. For as progressive a company as they were, they sure weren't progressively paying, were they? Amazon.com is having some problems, and this last update was 3 o'clock. Apparently, sometimes when you try to add something to, and I saw this yesterday, but apparently it's really cropped up today. They're getting an error or partially loading pages while others report no issues. So again, I saw something yesterday. I just kind of refreshed the page and it was okay. But apparently, the big outage started today about 1:40 p.m. Eastern. So SoundCloud and some other folks had issues today as well. Big news is the FAA has released the final assessment of SpaceX Starbase and Starship program. Does require some changes. The Environmental Assessment, PEA, Programmatic Environmental Assessment, comes in 183 pages, lays out the potential consequences of SpaceX Starbase complex. They have to do 75 mitigatory 75 mitigations to comply with the assessment. The company will have to comply with the launch site lighting management plan to ensure no disruption to sea turtles with a qualified biologist, conducting lighting evaluations during key weeks during the turtle's life cycle. SpaceX will also have to initiate coordination with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services to mitigate impacts to protected bird species, including the piping plover. According to a document from the USFWS obtained by CNBC, recent declines in piping plover population are correlated with activities at Starbase. What else? This has been a long time coming. This thing's been in work since 2020. And so we'll see how long it takes SpaceX to mitigate this stuff, because they want to get busy. They want to get busy punching Starship up. Now, this does not guarantee a license because they got to do some other things, but this was a big hurdle. So congratulations, SpaceX, getting to this point, and hopefully you're able to mitigate stuff fast, and we're able to light this rocket soon and watch this first Starship demonstration. Apple, listen to this. Dun, da, da, da. Apple grudgingly complies with Dutch regulators over dating apps. Apple announced further updates on the StoreKit external entitlement for dating apps. Developers of dating apps in the Netherlands can use the StoreKit external purchase entitlement, the StoreKit external purchase link. In accordance with the ACM wishes, we've made adjustments to the user interface requirement announced the past March for developers who choose to use either or both of the entitlements. We adjusted the payment processing criteria for developers who wish to use either of these entitlements. Now, basically, people can pay off app, and they're only making this available in the Netherlands. So it should be noted that in February 2022, Apple stated it would charge app developers in the Netherlands who are using an alternate payment system a reduced commission, but they changed that. They're actually giving them a deduction. Again, these rules are not wide-reaching. They don't apply to Dutch dating apps specifically. They do show that what Apple is willing to do to comply with government regulations, which it could be facing a lot more of it in the United States and the EU. The Verge also pointed out in part of the Apple News post that says, as a reminder, developers of dating apps who want to continue using Apple's in-app purchase system, which we believe is the safest and most secure way for you to purchase digital goods and services, may do so, and no further action is needed. So in other words, they're saying you can still use our billing system, but why would you want to give them that huge percentage? Apple says, we don't believe some of these changes are in the best interest of our users' privacy or data security, because Apple's committed constructive engagement with regulators. We're making the additional changes at the ACM's request. As we previously said, we disagree with the ACM's original order and are appealing it. Overall, the message Apple appears to be sending is that they are complying with what Dutch regulators want. In the same post, Apple makes it clear it doesn't really want to make these changes and will attempt to appeal it. So, again, ACM is Netherlands Authority for Consumer and Markets. So, interesting move. Crypto's going crazy right now, just like the stock market is. Hold on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. But Bianchi I don't know if that's how you pronounce that. It's some sort of crypto. Binance or Bianca resumes Bitcoin withdrawals after hours long freeze. They had a bug. Bianca, one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges, has resumed Bitcoin withdrawals after temporarily pausing them on Monday due to a stuck on-chain transaction. The CEO said that the issue would be fixed in 30 minutes, but it took a lot longer. And of course, this pause comes as cryptocurrency markets dropped under $1 billion for the first time since February 2021. During a drop, Bitcoin has fallen below 24,000 for the first time since December 2020. And Celsius, a major crypto lender company, also froze withdrawals and transfers over the weekend. So things are getting crazy. So people are starting to cash out a little bit. So Sony, are you an audio lover? Are you what's considered an audiophile? Sony would love you if you bought its $3,700 Walkman for over-the-top audiophiles. Some of you will pay more for a set of earphones than you would on a nice computer. If you're one of those persons, Sony has an MP3 player for you. The company has released 2 ultra high-end Walkman MP3 players aimed squarely at audiophiles. The headliner, the $3,700 NW-WM1ZM2, mates an S-Master HX digital amp with fine-tuned capacitors. Oh, there's a $1,400 version. The NW-WM1AM2 offers much of the same functionality, but in an aluminum alloy body with just a low-resistance, oxygen-free copper cable. You also have to make do with 128 gigs of expandable space. As compared to the other one, how much storage you get with that? Oh, and they're giving you a 99.99% pure gold-plated, oxygen-free copper chassis, all of which supposedly contribute to clear, expansive output. Even the reflow soldering includes gold that purportedly boosts sound localization and widens the sound stage. $3,700 for a Walkman. If any of you buy this, please don't tell me. Please don't tell me. Oh my goodness. Netflix confirms Squid Game is returning for a second season. I haven't seen this. It was never truly in doubt that Netflix would bring its most popular show of all time back, but the company is at least officially greenlit season 2 of Squid Game. I actually watched 2 episodes, I think. It hasn't been revealed when the next batch of episodes will hit the streaming service. So, I thought it looks like animation. Maybe I didn't watch Squid Game. But, anyway, so last October, creator Young Dong-hyul said he wasn't sure whether there'd be more episodes, but that he would hold talks with the company because he wanted to make a film first. Netflix said in January, second season would absolutely happen. So anyway, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a promo for it. So anyway, Squid Game is coming back, season 2. Some more parents have sued Meta, alleging teen daughter eating disorder stemmed from Instagram addiction. The parents of a 19-year-old woman are suing Meta, saying their daughter developed an Instagram addiction as a minor that eventually prompted an eating disorder and suicidal ideation. In a personal injury lawsuit filed Monday, Kathleen and Jeff Spence detail their daughter Alexis began using Instagram at age 11. So they were on Good Morning America. So how much money are they looking for? Did it say? You know, parents have to take some responsibility for their kids' online usage, don't you think? Astra rocket's second stage fails, NASA CubeSats loss. Another setback for the company that focused on rapid development. On Sunday, the launch of 2 CubeSats on an Astra rocket failed to go as planned, with the rocket's second stage cutting out early. The loss cost NASA 2 CubeSats that were meant to be part of a small constellation that would track the development of tropical storms. The failure represents yet another setback for the rocket company. Now, NASA says they can run on 4, which they already have. They had planned for this, knowing that there was some risk. So, as for the failure, NASA indicates this launch was part of a program that tolerated greater risk. But when it doesn't make orbit, it's bad news. Interestingly, how many remember Thunderbird? I used Thunderbird email client for years. For years, I used that client. But Mozilla's launched email for Android devices. The Mozilla Foundation unveiled a Thunderbird-style email client for Android mobile devices called K9 Mobile. Developer team is also evaluating the idea of an iOS version. Interesting. The new mobile app is being launched part of Mozilla's Thunderbird family of open source desktop email and chat applications. I didn't know Thunderbird was still around, to be honest with you. How many are still using Thunderbird? Love to hear if you are. Adobe has released open source toolkit to counter visual misinformation. First announced in 2019, Adobe's content authenticity initiative project has since released a white paper on a technology to do just that, introduce the system into its own software, and partner up with newsrooms and hardware makers that could help universalize its vision. So basically, it's a toolkit that gets basically the ability for people to display content credentials in a browser or a command line so you can see who owns the image. As an XIF, data stores details about the aperture, shutter speed. The new standard also records information about a file's creation, including how it was made and edited, and if the company's shared vision comes to pass. The metadata, which Adobe refers to content credentials, would then be widely viewable across social media platforms, image editors, and news sites. So that's interesting. So many people have so much trouble with people stealing their images that this might help with some of that. Royal Caribbean is the first cruise liner to request Elon Musk's Starlink satellite internet on board its ships. So they told the FCC it wants SpaceX Starlink antennas. The cruiser urged the FCC to quickly approve SpaceX requests for Starlink on moving vehicles, including boats, which that's what that would be, right? Comes after airlines made a deal with SpaceX to have in-flight Wi-Fi aboard their planes. SpaceX Starlink satellite internet could be available for passengers aboard Royal Caribbean cruises. And so they're the first. I'm sure they won't be the last. They say, we believe our work with SpaceX, the first of its kind in the cruise industry, will set the standard for other cruise operators and will mean a leap in terms of guest experience and business operations while at sea. Royal Caribbean says it has totaled 24 ships, but it's not clear from the FCC filing how many vessels will have Starlink to start with. I'm sure they'll have more than one antenna. Of course, they launched an option in May for RV owners costing $20 more a month than the service to be able to move it around, move the antenna around. So he says Musk had said Starlink doesn't work on vehicles in motion yet. If you work on Microsoft Teams, they're now using an AI to improve echo, interruptions, and acoustics. So they say your team calls should be a lot better. They spent the last 2 years adding flashy new productivity features to Teams, and now the company's overhauling how the fundamental works thanks to AI. We've all been on a call where someone has poor room acoustics. I don't know if I've heard that in Zoom, making it hard to hear them or see two people trying to talk at the same time, creating awkward no, you go ahead moment. Microsoft's new AI-powered voice quality improvements should improve or even eliminate these day-to-day annoyances. So we'll see. They say we've simulated 100,000 rooms to come up with different patterns. Spotify has bought an AI startup that turns text into realistic speech. Sonetics Tech could share recommendations when you aren't looking. Well, I heard they're going to actually allow WordPress users to start creating podcasts through Spotify. Essentially, you send the text for your blog post, and it makes it a podcast. I'm sure that's going to be very, very worthy content. Spammers are going to have a heyday with that. Toyota battles Tesla Ford with own residential energy storage battery. Japanese automaker has become the latest car company to repurpose electric vehicle batteries for home energy storage. The Oichi Hyuden system, which is on pre-sale now, will roll out in August in Japan only, mainly consists of a trunk-sized battery and two-way vehicle charger. It's also available to store power generated by solar panels. Toyota said the system uses proprietary technology from its vehicle batteries and can scale electricity based on need, including using Toyota's EVs to supply backup power in the event of an outage or other emergencies. Those of you in Texas saw the post yesterday from a friend of mine. I guess you've been enjoying rolling blackouts in Texas. Tomorrow will be a key day for Michigan as well. They're telling everybody, don't use too much power. It's going to be too hot. You may have blackouts. So we'll see what happens here in the state of Michigan tomorrow. So I've been got the generator fueled up and ready to go just in case. Extension cords are ready. I don't have it officially wired into the office legally, but I'll run what I need to run to continue to work. Amazon's Prime Air service will begin making drone deliveries in California this year. It's a major milestone for the company. Starting later this year, the company will begin the drone deliveries in Lockheed, California. The pilot program will see the companies carry thousands of different items directly to the backyards of Amazon customers in the area. Their feedback about Prime Air with drones delivering packages in the backyards will help us create a service that will safely scale to meet the needs of customers everywhere. So now we're going to have crooks following the drones to go and jump in the backyard and steal your package there. Amazon still needs to secure Part 135 certification from the FAA. On that front, the company is playing catch-up with companies like Walmart and Wing, both of which announced recent expansion of their respective pilots. Amazon also hasn't said what products will offer through the service. It's likely to share those details soon. It's probably going to be like pharmacy stuff, I would expect. Microsoft has pled neutrality on unions for Activision staff. So they're not wasting any time to try to put the Activision Blizzard problem in the rearview mirror, announcing a labor neutrality agreement with the game makers' recently formed union. Microsoft is going to be grappling with plenty of issues, including unfair labor lawsuits, sexual harassment allegations, and toxic workplace claims. Those poor folks are going through so much training, it can't even, I'm sure it's just being piled on. Activision subsidiary Raven Software, developers of the popular Call of Duty game series, recently voted to organize a union, which Activision entered into negotiations with only a few days ago. So, we'll see where this goes. The FDA has cleared Rune Labs to use the Apple Watch to monitor Parkinson's. Motion sensors built in the Apple Watch can track symptoms over time. So this approval uses their software paired with the Apple Watch to track symptoms of Parkinson's disease. The San Francisco-based digital health startup has created software for Watch OS that can detect common Parkinson's symptoms such as tremors, involuntary or slow movement, rigidity, and poor balance. Smartphones and other remote forms of monitoring Parkinson's have been around for a while, but this is the first software designed for the Apple Watch the FDA has cleared for motion disorders. The Watch OS app by Rune Labs will give physicians access to patient movement data over time, which can further supplement the information they get from an in-person physical exam. So let's get it done so we can check blood sugar. Please hurry up. GM will officially reveal Chevy Blazer EV on July 18th. The electric Blazer will go on sale in 2023. The 2024 Chevy Blazer will get this reveal with General Announcement on Monday. The all-electric mid-size SUV is expected to go on sale for around $30,000. Oh, they haven't. No, the Equinox EV is going to start at $30,000, but it has yet to set similar pricing for the Blazer. The Equinox and Blazer, Chevy's compact mid-size SUVs, respectively. The Blazer EV is also expected to make its official debut later this year. So we'll see where this price comes in. And here. Making lots of electric vehicles here in Michigan, GM, but we don't have electricity to charge them. Article from makeuseof.com. How to tell if your security camera has been hacked. So A lot of cameras are running IP. Matter of fact, I'm having trouble with 3 of my IP cameras. Played with that a little bit earlier today. I know what's going on, so I got to fix in place. 2 days from now will be all good. But the PoE port burned out on the switch, so the camera wasn't actually getting power. But 6 signs: strange sounds or voices coming from your camera. Well, that's obvious. Duh. Panning or tilting for those of you that have a camera that will move. Password's been changed on the camera. Increased data consumption. Well, most people aren't going to be able to see how much. Cameras don't use much data anyway, so I don't know how they're going to determine that. Suspicious login history, if you can actually see the history, or a blinking LED light. This is the stupidest article I found. Here's the deal. Keep your camera firmware updated and change the default username and password to on most security cameras as admin. All right, so make sure you update that login. MakeUseOf.com has best laptops for working from home. Includes the Dell XPS 13, the Apple MacBook Pro 16-inch, which right now is back ordered all the way into August. The Lenovo IdeaPad 3, the Apple MacBook Pro 13, and the HP Spectre 14T. Why do I know that the MacBook Pro's back ordered? We've got a new employee started. That's a computer that we're ordering for her, and they're saying, "Oh, you can get it in August." We're like, "What?" Samsung has reportedly started mass production of the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro. The upcoming earbuds color variants have also been revealed. So they have purple. What else? The other colors. Can't find my Apple earbuds. They're missing. I got to dig around and find them. I needed them this weekend. I didn't have them. But if you're interested in the Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, link will be in the show notes for you to check it out. Crypto.com says it will lay off 260 employees, joining the downsizing wave hitting crypto exchanges. So they're going to lay off 5% of its workforce. Other exchanges, including Gemini and Coinbase, have introduced layoffs as well. A market slump has eaten into trading fees that are an important source of revenue. So you got to cut people. So it's always difficult. So is this the start of the depression or the recession? What do you guys think? IKEA announces a record player that might actually make it to stores this time. Designed in collaboration with Swedish House Mafia. You know, just here's the deal. This thing, it looks pretty, but just go to Audio Technica. If you want to buy a record player, just get one from Audio Technica. They have a nice one. I know I have one. And it's fabulous. It's a fabulous record player. So just go get it over there. Finally tonight, Sheryl Sandberg under investigation after announcing leaving from Meta. Get this. This week has been reported that she is under investigation for using corporate resources for her own projects. These include, but might not be limited to, her second book, her second wedding, and even her Lean In Foundation. It's not immediately clear how much of the company resources might have been used, but it does appear that employees on the company's payroll have been used for these projects. This investigation has been going on since last fall, with several employees being questioned about their participation. The revelation follows another one from April, where the company was investigating her for participation in a potential cover-up of news surrounding her partner, Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick. It is alleged that Sandberg bribed or threatened using Facebook's name against UK Daily Mail in order to kill at least 2 stories about him in 2016 and 2019. There are plenty of unflattering stories that could have been written about him, and he's likely the most hated executive in the gaming industry, and it's unclear if the threats worked. So officially, the company's holding line that Sandberg did not work with Facebook and Activision in order to kill the stories. So interesting. And what we have tonight, we have some emails I missed that were in the stack. I apologize, but we're going to read them tonight. And make sure I got the right email address opened up. Nope, not that one. Not that one. Not this one. Okay, here we go. Right down here. And the first one is from Nancy. Nancy says, I was working as an IT contractor from 2018 to early 2022. Our networking team really resisted implementing a remote solution, but the Navy pressed them, and we finally got some telework capability. We were doing splits with half the team in the office half the week, trading off with the other half for the other days. We wiped and sprayed the whole area as we walked out the door. That lasts until they got enough. Other teams completely teleworking and moved us out of shared spaces and into their other offices. And then we were all back into the office. It took till June to get us teleworking, and by August we were all back in the office. Then along came Hurricane Sally and condemned our building, old Pilot's Hotel on Softly Field in Pensacola, that had us all teleworking again until they found us a space, and that was November. And then we came all back to the office permanently in January 2022. I took a job that has always been remote, working with the Corps of Engineers, but the Corps had a lot of people teleworking then when I worked there starting before 2012 to mid-2018. So I'm not going to say Nancy's last name, but she's worked with CompTIA servers, and she's an MCSE server, I guess, expert. So I apologize, Nancy, if I got it all wrong here. But I got another email from Julie, and this is interesting. These are both government related. She says, I work for the DoD, and I've been approved to continue work 100% telework. I'm hoping to be a remote teleworker by fall once my husband retires. Why spend money on office space when we have proven that we're able to accomplish the mission from home? Julie, some people I think are better. Well, that was dumb. I just showed the screen. Julie, I agree with you. I think it's easier to work from home. But some people don't work as well from home. So some people don't want to work from home. And I actually heard someone tell me today that people are trying to buy bigger homes so they can have their living space and their working space. So I found that to be quite curious. So anyway, there we go. Thanks, Julie and Nancy, for your comments from episode 1603 about Elon asking people to go back to the office. And that was a great way to do it. Just reply to the newsletter email. That's how I kind of missed this to begin with. So thanks for sending that over. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. I'm going to get out of here. I want to thank you all for being here, being part of the family, watching the show. geeknews@gmail.com is the email address. If you get a chance, please put the episode number in your comments. That helps me find them a lot easier. That's how I found these two today, because I've got 1,663 unread emails in my geeknews@gmail address right now. So I'll try to clear those out the next couple of days. But most of them are not comments. Most of them are just junk. So I do have to read through every one of them and make sure I get everything out. But that's going to wrap the show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying subscribed. It's been my pleasure to bring you the podcast. And take care. We'll see you on Thursday. Everyone take care. Bye-bye.